Here are your hosts.
Your hosts for this evening, Colin.
He's an idiot, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes.
Mike, the Ape Man.
I mean, he's so blatantly stupid. He's a pig, he's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Shaggy.
He's an embarrassment to this country. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has.
This is PTR Radio.
Just infuriating at this point, really. But I see sound levels everywhere, so it should be sounding okay.
It's
what?
It's very bad.
It's very bad.
Here.
Hold on. Just infuriating at this point, really.
There's a...
But I see sound levels everywhere, so it should be sounding okay. All right. Hopefully that is much better.
You must have bounced something, because before I handed it to you, it was
okay.
Very, very buzzy and staticky and popping a lot.
Buzzy, staticky, yucky. But now much better.
Yes.
Mike, how go you? How go Mike? Better, worse?
Well, it did the same thing it did to me last week. That I'm listening and I'm hearing everything's okay, everything's awesome.
Well, let's hope that everything stays good. All right, so what that means is that I have a loose connection, and moving the mixer over the weekend moved it again. So I need to double check that. It's weird because I can hear everything in my headphones. So
we actually had a couple of celebrity deaths this past week.
Yeah.
This past couple of days, all right? So we had Harry Anderson today. Yes. We had Arlie Ermy passed away.
Yeah.
Which, very upsetting. And, I had to, I don't want to say laugh, but everybody's pointing to his iconic role in Full Metal Jacket and how, he was the gunny and he's very Marine and all that. Nobody points out that he made out with Jack Black in Saving Silverman.
I heard a story about that today, actually. You know why he made out with Jack Black, other than it was in the script?
How come?
They paid him $10,000.
Okay.
He was doing an interview with a radio personality, and it said, so, everybody knows you're from Full Metal Jacket and everything else, but in this movie, you made out with Jack Black. Tell us about that. And he goes, well, I flew down there, I made out with Jack Black, and they gave me a check for $10,000. Then I flew home.
Okay.
All right. Great story, Gunny. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't get much better than that. So.
My favorite thing is he was involved for one season of a reality show where they did like military stuff.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I forget the name of it. It's like combat something. Anyway, that was a good show. It's one of the better reality shows of that era.
Well, he did a show on History Channel for a while called Mail Call.
Yep.
And, that's actually primarily where I know him from, because I never watched Full Metal Jacket. So.
I think he was in one of the Fox science fiction shows that lasted one season.
Okay, that narrows it down to about 1,000.
But he did the gunnery sergeant thing in that show, which I can't remember the stupid name of until it.
Yeah. So while you look that up, we do have topics for this evening, and the phone is working. So here's how this is going to work tonight, because we said last time that we were going to do something special this evening, and we are. So the phone's working. If we're talking about a topic, we're going to try and announce it before we start to talk about it, give you guys plenty of time to call in. The number is 877-787-8822. You can see it on your screens right now. So not only do you have a chance to text in or to chat in through Facebook Messenger, YouTube Messenger, Twitter, whatever. If you're going to tweet to us, use @PTR Radio. But you also have the opportunity to call in 877-787-8822. It's toll free for you guys. We're paying the bill on this one, because toll calls are so common nowadays.
Yes.
Everybody's paying that long distance bill, and we're trying to save you some money, like the good radio show that we would be. But what we want you to do is we want you to interact with the show, and then as a show, at the end of the evening, we're going to take a vote on the best call of the night. Okay, who the best caller of the night was. All right, and that person is going to get a ski prize pack. All right, so our friends at Ski, the official soda for PTR Radio, have
snow skiing.
Yep, this is water skiing.
This is better skiing. This is ski to drink.
They hooked us up with some stuff to give away, and that's exactly what we're going to do. They said, we don't care how you give it away and tell people to like us on their social media and, to tell us that you sent them there. And so that's what we're going to do, but we're going to do it this way. We want you to call in, get in touch with us on the topics. We want to hear what your thoughts are, and so that's what we're going to do. So call in if you are passionate about a topic that we're talking about. So did you find that sci-fi show that you were talking?
Space Above and Beyond.
Space Above and Beyond. Okay.
Great show that only lasted one season on Fox.
He also
I actually have all of those shows on my
archive.
Soon to be set up Plex server thing-ish, baby. But yes, that was what I call the show that Starship Troopers should have been.
He did a voice in Toy Story. He was also in Saving Silverman. I think he was like the gym coach or something in that one.
He was the football coach.
Yeah. So, very famous. But what was also really interesting was he was brought on during Full Metal Jacket as a consultant, as basically the fact checker, because most of these big movies, you'll see them a lot in the NASA movies and the Army movies. They'll bring on someone to fact check them to make sure they're doing an honest representation of whatever career that is. And so he was so good at helping the actor that the director said, why don't you just do it? And evidently, over 70% of the lines in Full Metal Jacket were ad-libbed. They were not scripted lines. He just pulled them out of his
makes sense.
history.
Well, he made it much worse.
Yes.
Than he would have actually done it when he was doing it for real.
Well, maybe not. You have to remember the time now.
No, I think he took like all of them he may have used in the entire...
Yeah, the really bad ones over his entire career and put them all together.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, though, because doing that job of training as a sergeant is itself an acting job.
Now, let's be clear. Neither Colin nor I in the service whatsoever.
No.
All right? We would be the tech support for the service. We'd be the geeks that they would call to fix their computer.
Yes.
All right? Mike, at least... Tried. All right? Mike is the closest to a veteran we get on this show. All right? And Mike, you got you started basic and then got out because you were injured, right?
Correct.
So, we are talking from friends' experiences. And
many times watching Stripes.
Yeah, many times watching Stripes, which I argued with someone the other day that they said it was not a good movie. They said, I tried to sit down and watch Stripes, and I don't know why anyone found that entertaining. And I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Putin. Get out of my country.
That is a movie in an entire genre of things that, Stripes, Knight Rider, Airwolf, shows with important vehicles from my childhood.
And then that started a question that had to be answered at work. Because we were going through popular actors, comedic actors. And I'm like, I don't ever remember Bill Murray and Robin Williams being in a movie together. And the answer is they never were.
I'm not sure that those two would work very well.
Well,
wait a second. I think I know.
So the reason why, according to everything that I had read, was because they were both huge at the same time. And there was no movie big enough for both of them.
Mama Blair's saying that Stripes is two good movies.
It kind of is two good movies because up until the point, because you could say there's a movie from the beginning until they go overseas. All right, that's one movie. And then you could say the second movie is from overseas till the end.
Well, the same could be said about Full Metal Jacket.
Okay, so how do you split Full Metal Jacket?
It had a clear split. They were in basic training, and then it cuts to them being in country.
Okay.
That was a very clear... In fact, I think it even faded to black when they switched to that scene. Because here's Matthew Modine standing there watching a dude shoot himself, and then Matthew Modine has hair, is on the street cafe in Vietnam with his photographer, and the infamous "Me So Horny" hooker comes up.
See, now, like I said, I haven't watched this movie. Now I feel like I need to watch this movie.
Now, I need to...
I'm sure it's not a comedy, but to some degree it sounds like a comedy.
No. I do need to also point out that R. Lee Ermey was a regular on one of my most favorite TV shows ever, and I forgot about this until I looked at his IMDb. He played Dr. House's father.
Was he? I don't remember that.
He played John House.
I need to watch those episodes. I don't remember those.
And actually, it was only 2 episodes, but
Oh, you know who House should play now? Doctor Strange's dad, Benedict Cumberbatch.
That would be kind of awesome.
So I was got reminded because
He could be Strange Senior.
So we're talking about comedians.
Yes.
So since our last show,
Yes,
which was so long ago,
yes, it was.
I went to see Weird Al.
Yeah, you did. How was it?
It was really good.
Now, it wasn't just you going. It was the Blair Boatman caravan.
Yes.
Right?
Plus one additional friend who, but we had a limited number of.
Oh, female friend?
It's not mine.
Oh, okay.
She's married, but she actually has, her husband is actually a stand-up comedian, which I thought maybe we should do about something about sometime.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Maybe I know them. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I know a stand-up comedian. I know a real stand-up comedian. I keep thinking about maybe having him in the studio at some point.
His name is Larry Smith, but he's not the one who's black.
Different comedian. So we know 2 comedians that we could have in studio.
There we go.
Yeah. They could just replace us, and then the show would be funnier. We just sit out in the green room and just go, yeah, this is a funny show.
Now, what was interesting is Emo Phillips was the opening act for this entire tour. And I wasn't quite sure what to expect, and what I discovered is that he is very funny.
Well,
that is a weird picture of Emo Phillips that popped up.
Yeah, that's not the Emo Phillips that I would recommend.
No.
That's, I remember him differently.
But I'll tell you one of his jokes.
Okay.
Because I think it was a Illinois-specific joke. Since he's from Chicago, he could make Illinois-specific jokes. He was talking about Charles Lindbergh.
Okay.
Charles Lindbergh, first man to cross the Atlantic solo, and then they were playing The Spirit of St. Louis. But what he says, what most people don't know, is that is actually his second attempt at his second plane. The first plane crashed and burned on the way, so he had to get a second one. The first plane was the Spirit of East St. Louis.
Wah, wah, wah. Or, I'm sorry, waka waka. That's
Waka waka. Yeah.
It's very Fozzie Bear. It's very Fozzie Bear.
Dilly dilly.
Yes, dilly dilly. You know that was outlawed at the Masters. That was a whole list of things. You couldn't yell at the Masters after somebody took a shot, and dilly dilly was on there.
They probably used to have a different sponsored beer.
You know, let's see here. Band Masters yells, I think is what it was. Yelling dilly dilly is banned at the Masters, and Bud Light is royally offended. So, so there was, there was a whole, and they did a declaration.
Bud
Light did a declaration about it. But there was a whole list of of things, and I can't find where it was. But yeah, so anyway, that we weren't going to talk about the Masters anyway.
Here we go, found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay. Good, because I couldn't, my Google's not as good this time around.
Full list of phrases banned at the Masters.
Okay. Now, we're not going to get some of these.
Right.
The Masters takes itself
really, no, shut up.
Really serious.
All right, go ahead.
So some of them were like R.I.P. Harambe.
Yes.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yep.
And okay, that's all it's going to show me.
Okay, I got it. So Baba Booey.
Of course.
Mashed potatoes. You the Man. I love Martha Burke. Annika Sorenstam loves trapeze. Free Meek. Dinklage for president.
I'd so want to yell that one.
To infinity and beyond. Activate the glutes. Jimmy Carter eats peanuts. Hey, security, can you pick me out of the sea of people? R.I.P. Harambe. Nobody beats the Wiz. Brandel's my daddy. Bikini wax. Drive it, Miss Daisy. Insert name of band should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Can you hear me now? And hashtag anything.
The fact that they actually have to have a list of things that you can't say.
Yeah,
That's like daring people
If
to come
they,
up with it. I'm surprised that Leroy Jenkins isn't on there.
Oh.
But all right, so let's talk about the first item on the list, and it's a somewhat serious topic. Which is why we're getting to it after saying Leroy Jenkins. There was a failure at a fertility clinic of a refrigeration unit that was used to store 400,000 frozen embryos. I'm sorry. It says 4,000 in the headline, but I think it was deemed higher than that, wasn't it, Mike? I want to say it was deemed much higher than that.
But they also found out it wasn't just that one place. There was many other failures at other clinics.
The deal was that University Hospitals in Cleveland, Ohio, said Monday that it miscalculated its initial estimate of eggs and embryos affected by a rare storage tank malfunction. In a letter to patients, University Hospital CEO Tom Zenti said that the catastrophic failure that occurred between the weekend of March 3rd to March 4th affected more than twice the amount first estimated. He wrote in the letter, "We have determined that the total number of affected eggs and embryos for these patients is more than 4,000, not the estimate of 2,000 previously used." So, sounds like they put all their eggs in one basket, Mike.
Waka waka.
Yep. But this is what kills me, because you brought this article up here. So you would think, rightly so, that there should be things in place that something of this magnitude, this importance, all right, that there would be safety systems and alarms.
Yeah.
Keeping things good. Walt Disney's head, frozen. Somebody is keeping an eye to make sure that the cryo chamber doesn't go above, minus 100 degrees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm keeping the rumor alive, man. I know he's been buried, but I'm still...
I'm just waiting for you to finish your...
So, but here's the thing, Mike. It does have those things, but they were all broken.
Of course.
No, the alarm wasn't broken.
Okay, go ahead.
The alarm was turned off.
Yeah, the alarm was turned off because the backup system was broken.
Yes, and they were tired of the alarm going off.
And so, yeah, Mike, go ahead. You read through this.
The backup system wasn't working, and it's the equivalent of taking the battery out of the smoke detector because you can't get it to shut up. Right? Now, my big thing with this was, where are all the right-to-lifers?
Well, that is a good question.
And what is their stance on this?
That is a good question.
Technically, these are not fertilized eggs. However, this brings up the question of, when does life actually start? These are viable eggs. Are vegans pissed off about this?
Yeah. What it's...
But even then, there's still the question of the viability. But
Yeah. It says here, employees were manually filling the tank because of issues with the autofill function, but they were and were monitoring, but everything appeared to be appropriate on Friday and Saturday, but they were insufficient. So, I think it's just plain carelessness is what this comes down to. It comes down to carelessness.
It absolutely is. And the fertility clinic did not respond to any request for comment.
No, good
Rightfully
Lord.
so.
Good Lord, no. Because they're not going to be right no matter what they say.
What they're doing is, well, in Cleveland, they are offering a package, a free service to clients that were affected, refunding storage fees, waiving storage fees for the next 7 years. And now, with all of this, I'm reading it and I'm like, this is kind of like the island.
Well, and you have to understand the circumstances which some of these women made their deposit, okay? Because some of these women were diagnosed with cancer, okay? For example, as we read in this article, okay? So they knew that the radiation was going to significantly reduce the likelihood that they would be able to have children again after the the treatment. So they went to present preventative measure of storing up for later on. All right? Well, so they stored it, and now they've had the treatment, so there's no going back, but what they stored isn't there anymore. It's kind of like, to draw an analogy, probably the best analogy I can think of, it's a pension debate. All right? You put into a pension your whole life, the company goes bust and takes your pension, and you're left with nothing. All right? And I can only, being a guy, that's the closest analogy I can come to, because I can't imagine what these women are feeling. All right? I can just know the loss and despair I would have if they said...
Men.
Huh?
And men, because there also
yeah,
was...
and men. Yeah.
There was some frozen sperm that was lost, too.
Yeah, and, knowing that now that has been taken away from me by somebody else outside of my control, but whom I entrusted and paid, and, that's just wrong. And just like Equifax and just like, all these other big corporations, no one's going to go to jail for this. The company may go under, but nobody's going to go to jail for this. No one's really going to suffer.
Yep.
Except for the victims.
Now, to answer the question that was asked, I think for frozen eggs, the right to lifers don't care so much about that. Now, for frozen embryos that are lost, they've actually tried to sue for murder before, so they do have a feeling on that.
Yeah, because
we're not going to go in any detail.
Yeah.
On anything related to that.
We are not going to say which is right and which is wrong.
Just stating some facts.
Yes. Your personal opinions, good with you. Wrong genitalia here.
Here's a comment from YouTube.
Yeah. I'm sure conservatives probably could call it that. I'm sure that that one side or the other will say that this is the result of some type of conspiracy theory or government action trying to control the population. I'm sure there's all kinds of things being said about this.
And see, this is part of why the numbers have gone up. In less than 24 hours, Pacific Fertility is where the 2,000 were lost.
Yeah.
Then that same weekend, University Hospital's Cleveland Medical Center had the same or similar type of failure. So the fact that this happened in two different locations right around the same time, people are questioning the industry and its standards.
Yeah.
Which I completely understand. Now, I am not in either camp, kind of like you. I'm not in either camp when it comes to whether freezing eggs and embryos is a viable option or not. I did not have a chance to look up the success rate of utilizing these eggs and embryos. But I can't imagine it's not a guarantee.
No, any time
this
you
is,
do that, it's not a guarantee.
This is part of the thing that the Cleveland Center is they're trying to run tests to find out, okay, we may have lost X amount of eggs and embryos, but how many of them were actually viable to begin with?
About 47.1%.
Okay, so
Were viable.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm
Which
going
is only, for live, unfrozen, it's 56%. For frozen, it's 47%.
and I can tell you this, and this right, wrong, what different. It's the first response on Google. All right, what's the success rate of frozen embryos? All right, the answer is no matter the amount of time between embryo freezing and thawing, you can expect nearly the same potential for success as those experienced with fresh IVF cycle that the frozen embryos came from. So, women 35 years and younger have over a 60% chance of pregnancy per transfer. So, I would say it's probably greater than 30%. Whatever, however you work out the numbers, I would say that it's definitely greater than that. So, if you were talking a 1 in a million shot, Mike, I can definitely see where they would say, listen, this was a long shot to begin with, so, but looking at these raw numbers just on a quick Google search, there was actually a pretty decent chance for success of this working for those women that were in those situations.
Especially since they would have multiple.
Yes.
So, assuming that they had, let's say, 10, then they had a pretty darn close to
of at least having
chance.
one child.
Yes.
So that's so it is a shame. Our hearts go out to the women and the men that were affected by this, obviously, and we're outraged that unfortunately probably nobody is going to go to jail over this. Nobody is truly going to pay for what this has happened. And it's a real shame when we're sitting here, or when Congress is pulling Mark Zuckerberg in front of them, saying, what are you going to do to ensure users of your free services privacy? But they don't care about losing 400 potential citizens or 4,000 potential citizens. I'm just gonna throw that out there as a open-ended question.
One week they're asking Mark Zuckerberg about, hey, how are you letting our people have stuff? And then the week before, they're like, oh, we want to let anybody from any other country just get information by sending us a letter.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you have been watching our Instagram, you will know that the On the Road Again segment is making a preview, and I will tell you right now, the first segment that you're going to hear, which will be coming out probably on Wednesday of this week, is on the Facebook in front of Congress.
Okay, so I do have to also point out that, you mentioned these are 4,000 potential citizens, of which 3,000 are already registered voters.
Yes. Well, and everyone who died, is also registered as well. So, don't worry. They'll stay on the books, Mike. So at least we'll keep democracy running right along.
Wakanda forever, baby.
That's right. So moving on to something a little bit better. Speaking about bringing things back from the dead, Mike, I heard Roseanne made a comeback.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
According to, at least, I didn't actually watch it, but according to what I read, brought back to fairly great ratings for the first episode, at least.
Huge.
And, was well received. Was very well received by the base that it was going after, at least. I know she was on the media circuit, and there was a little bit of tension between her and Wendy Williams at one point. But
there was some tension between her and Jimmy Kimmel as well.
Doesn't surprise me.
Which was amazing, by the way. And poor John Goodman sitting there ready to have another heart attack. I mean,
I did hear a bit. I heard a couple of clips, and I did hear how they kind of introduced the show. And he goes, "Why does everybody always think I'm dead?" I mean, I thought that was a great way to bring him back and forget the last season ever existed.
So Roseanne has been almost consistently getting over 20 million viewers per week.
That's good, as long as it can maintain that momentum.
Which, considering that today's world on network television, 8 million is considered a success.
Yeah.
Griffin loves
That's all you need to know right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can get, I wait for the Griffinism that includes a reference to Roseanne.
Now, yes, Roseanne herself is a very polarizing figure. However, there is nobody else on the show's cast, as far as I know, who actually agrees with her politically.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when I watched Roseanne, because I watched it when it was first out, I was always a Dan fan.
Yes.
All right? Because Dan was my dad. All right? And he was me. He was the wisecracking, come home late, you don't feel like putting up with crap from anybody, just kind of say it as it is, but still do everything in the world for your family, under the sun. Mm-hmm. Give him the shirt off your back. That was my dad, and that was who I kind of emulated to be. And so I was the biggest fan of Dan.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's where most of the world, got George Clooney.
True. Well, no.
Who is like
second.
Facts of Life was first.
Yeah.
Facts of Life, yes. So, and George Clooney apparently is one of the few that said, no, I'm not coming back.
Clooney doesn't need the Roseanne money.
And he's in Europe. It's too much trouble for him to get over for
That'd
a
be
show.
like the Olsens coming back for a Fuller House.
And he was only in one season of Roseanne. It's not even...
So let me just say, the first episode, way too much political. Blatantly political. Then the next episode, they started to find their footing. And it's almost like the show never went off the air. It has that same tone as the original. And the cast still has that chemistry.
Which is great when you can maintain that over that length of time.
Yep.
The last episode, now tonight is supposed to be a good one because her mom is coming back, and Johnny Galecki is coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, in character.
Tonight or tomorrow?
Maybe it is tomorrow. This week. This week's episode.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not correcting you. I'm just like, I was surprised.
I honestly don't remember either, to be honest with you, because everything's on the DVR. So,
True.
Last week's was actually, they're still tackling those tough issues. And last week, without getting into, a spoiler, but last week was the last episode that aired. They paid respects to the actor that played Mark. And they actually touched on his character's death, which, because they didn't want to recast him.
Right.
Yep.
Which was a lot better than Kevin Can Wait, which I still don't believe they have addressed Donna's death or how she died. We got a one-sentence explanation. Ever since Mom, it's been 6 months since Mom died. And what happened?
The parody issue is so boring that even her husband doesn't care.
I mean, it was just...
I think Estelle Parsons is...
Yes, that is who played Roseanne's mom. Yep.
Yes.
Who is now 90. So she's coming back and acting at 90. That is pretty good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really good. I was looking it up. I was talking about how everybody on the show still feels real, even though it no longer matches the Chicago suburb that it was based off of.
Okay.
Apparently, the actual, I think it was Elgin. Anyway, the actual place in Illinois that the Roseanne place was based off of is now predominantly Hispanic. So if Roseanne was actually going to match where it actually was originally Evansville, there would be a lot more Spanish being spoken on the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and, again, I haven't seen the new stuff, but just going back to the old stuff, I mean, you saw the manual factory work and all that kind of stuff, so, I mean, that lends itself to that population breakout, so, I can definitely see where that would happen. So, but you guys say it's good. It's definitely worth the watch.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yes.
There are so many things on my DVR that I'm behind on, though.
Yes.
You guys are probably going to be watching season 3 when I first start up. So,
But I am glad every time that I see something that validates my own belief on stuff.
Okay.
Like, I believe that the last season of the original Roseanne sitcom never actually happened. And the new Roseanne agrees with me that entire season did not happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to continuations of Quantum Leap that agree that the last episode of Quantum Leap did not happen.
In the diner, you mean?
The Sam never returned home.
Right. That was in a diner.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't Ziggy sweeping him through body to body. He was doing it himself. And yeah.
And, they went to all the trouble to get Al's marriage put back together, and then the last episode set it so he never lost his original wife. And then he was like going, but what happened to the wife that we actually met?
Yeah. But and I'll tell you what.
All right. So did we talk about the Karate Kid? Since now reboots and continuations, all the networks are jumping on this.
No, but
did we talk about the Karate Kid?
I don't think so. I saw the trailer for it, and boy, it's not a show I want to watch.
I am pissed off with the trailer. It validates my belief. Justice for Johnny. Okay, it validated 40 seconds into the trailer. It validated that Daniel should not have won, and negated the original trilogy.
Yeah,
that quickly.
I mean, it's just
LaRusso is a car salesman now.
No, he's not a car salesman. He's a huge car salesman who owns multiple lots, and it's a LaRusso Automotive, and Johnny's a burnout, and if you want to go watch the trailer, go watch the trailer. We're not going to show it here because we've got enough copyright strikes against us. But
we're not going to show it, and none of us are going to watch it.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not going to watch it.
No, I can't think of no, not going to at all. I was doing a trivia night while we were off air. I did one last Friday night, and I have a TV theme song round. All right, and we've done the round here, so I won't do it again. But one of the songs was theme song to Greatest American Hero, and I said. Little point of fact to the crowd. I'm like, did you guys know they're trying to reboot this? And everyone went, no! I mean, everybody in the crowd against it vehemently. So, just by my survey, 100% of the United States population doesn't want reboots of classic 80s shows.
And there's so many things that they're talking so with Roseanne being a success, they're talking about bringing back Last Man Standing.
Well, don't forget that before Roseanne was a success, Will and Grace was a success.
Right, but
so they started it.
That's because of this. Well, yeah, but the Will and Grace ratings are a blip.
Yeah, compared to Roseanne now. Yeah.
So they're looking at the blue collar thing.
Well, and Mad About You evidently is going to happen. Helen Hunt was on a late night talk show host overseas and said, "Yeah, I've seen the first few scripts." So evidently, Mad About You, Part 2.
Yeah, Mad About You
coming soon.
They're talking about bringing back The Office.
Okay.
They're talking about bringing back the Jetsons.
I swear we do this topic like every 6 months.
Well, yeah,
or less, but
because people keep doing it.
Yeah, stop it.
But, and here's my thing. Colin, you brought this up. Last Man Standing, they're talking about rebooting it. It hasn't been off the air, but for a year.
I wasn't hearing rebooting. I was hearing just bring it back.
Oh, and I still don't understand why it got canceled. It was ABC's top-rated show at the time. Well, we know why it got canceled, but
I think they should just skip the middleman and bring back Home Improvement.
Yeah. He's shopping the show to Fox News. Tim Allen himself is trying to shop the show. So, I don't know. All right, so let's
Seth Meyers is trying to bring back Monsters again.
it was
For
horrible.
what, a 17th time?
Yeah.
And Lost in Space came out on Netflix today, the reboot. I haven't watched it yet.
I'm hearing horrible things.
So am
Horrible
I.
things. Is that you?
Yeah, it was me.
All right. I was going to say, it wasn't me. Wasn't me. All right. So, now.
Is Mrs. 8-Man telling me about Harry Anderson from Night Court?
Now,
Well, I guess you're not one of the listeners now, are you?
Now, let's talk about one more thing that suddenly has become a thing and we don't quite understand. Now, I think we all know that we didn't understand the Tide Pod thing. All right? And we thought that was ridiculous. But now, evidently, and that's what I found out was this isn't new. This was around about 10 years ago. There is a condom snorting challenge.
This thing... I weep for the future.
I saw a picture. A guy posted it online. It's one of these stupid memes, but it was a roll-on deodorant, pushed up quite a bit, and it was one of the green, like, clearish ones with a bite taken out of it and said, "This popsicle tastes like crap."
Yeah, I gotta say, I was forced to watch a condom snorting challenge, but we'll be talking about that in the next hour.
Okay. Yeah. Probably towards the end of the next hour, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I don't understand. Go back to planking. Go do planking again. Tebow.
This is what bothers me the most about this. And I said it, and next thing I know, there's 700 memes with this exact statement. If the parents of these children knew what the condoms were supposed to be used for in the first place, we wouldn't be having this problem.
Exactly.
If literally 5 minutes after I typed that as a response on Facebook, 17 of my friends posted up a meme with the same high school girl with glasses ready to die because a condom is hanging out of her nose and the statement.
Yeah.
Almost word for word. And I'm just looking real close like, damn it, why does this not have a PTRradio.com watermark on it?
But this is the same group that, according to a Yahoo News survey, only 2/3 of millennials believe the Earth is round.
I'm not going to have this flat Earth discussion again.
All right? Which, by abstraction, means 1/3 of millennials think that the Earth is flat.
I am not having this discussion.
Okay?
These are idiots, and these are the ones that should be snorting condoms while chewing on a Tide Pod with a mouthful of cinnamon. Okay? Let's just roll it all into one. And by the way, all you guys, there's cotton candy in the walls of your house. Go ahead, have fun.
Right.
Secret cotton candy stores. Now,
Jesus Christ!
Now, when this was,
you've heard of Hansel and Gretel, right? Every house is made of candy.
Now, I gotta say, Shaggy, when Mike first posted this up on our internal Slack, I loved your Jesus tap dancing on a cracker.
Jesus tap dancing Christ on a cracker. GIF. Yes.
That was great. I have not seen that particular animation before.
All right. So there was also a job opening, which I think the three of us, any of the three of us, might have been qualified for while we were off the air. Considering that during the last portion of the show, we will be doing our double feature movie review, which was, of course, inspired by the Netflix other movies you might be interested in category. Netflix was hiring a professional binge watcher. How cool does that sound?
Yeah.
I mean,
Niet smell short, niet high walk, high tongue.
Right. So, here's the pitch from them. We can listen to this. I think.
If you just can't stop binge watching on Netflix, this could be your dream job. Netflix is now hiring workers to view, categorize, and rate their shows and movies. The job title is editorial analyst, and the posting is now up on the Netflix website. It calls for people who are passionate about TV and film and are deadline-oriented, but there's no word yet on what this professional binge-watching job actually pays.
So I'm just...
All right. So, I mean, hey, we're here. Use us. Promote the web. Promote. Pay the website. Just pay the hosting every month, and we'll do it for you.
Yeah. Now, Mike pointed out that we can't actually have this job because you have to understand Japanese.
It says a successful applicant should be able to write Japanese.
Now, my thing is,
right.
I have a phone that can translate Japanese.
We don't have to be successful. We just have to be mediocre. All right? This podcast, all it ever strives for is mediocrity. Okay? We never strive for success.
Speak for yourself. Listen, you were doing a trivia fundraiser. I was doing the sound for a fundraiser with two mediums. And
like psychic mediums?
Yes. They left there thinking, at least one of them left there thinking, that I am an internet radio celebrity. that is my job. And I do sound work and DJing on the side as a hobby to get me out of the house.
I hope you told them what the website address was.
Of course I did.
It's mediumdebunkers.com. So
she was from South Africa.
Oh, no.
So she had...
Black magic woman going to put a hex on you.
She had the accent.
Don't do the accent. We don't need that type of backlash.
Diplomatic immunity.
You need the hat.
I believe they were like Eastern European, not African.
South African.
Okay. All right.
You don't want to go to South Africa. What? You're black.
For those of you that don't know, just watch Lethal Weapon 3.
Okay.
Nothing like quoting a movie older than most of the listeners. So, all right.
What, you mean it was a movie before it was a TV show?
Amazingly, yes.
I have never wanted to hit a child before, and you're going to tell me that you think Damon Wayans is the original Roger Motorola? Oh, hell no! No! No!
Oh. All right, Mike. Let's ruin some more of your childhood then here.
Go ahead.
Tell me about snozberries, Mike.
Listen.
And folks, so if you're a Charlie and Chocolate Factory fan, if you're a snozberry fan, if you're an Oompa Loompa fan, if you are an Oompa Loompa, feel free to call in and chime in.
If you're a Super Troopers 2 fan, or Super Troopers fan, so kept popping up in my news feed that in conjunction with the upcoming release of Super Troopers 2, which, by the way, I don't think I've ever watched the first one beginning to end, simply because I got so frustrated with it. But I understand that there's a cult following of this. But in conjunction with that, Hooters, the restaurant chain, is going to release a limited edition snozberry sauce for their wings. And I'm thinking, okay, I got to find out what the hell. I thought snozberry was a joke. I remember from Willy Wonka, the snozberries taste like snozberries.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell does that mean? So I go looking it up, and that led me down a rabbit hole of darkness that I should not have gone down, and makes me wonder who the hell actually wants these wings. Because there is a huge conspiracy theory. And by huge, I mean Bill Cosby. There is a huge conspiracy theory that snozberries is actually a euphemism for penises. And that when the kids were licking the wallpaper and tasting snozberries, what they were actually tasting was penises. Who the hell wants penis-flavored wings? And what exactly penises taste like?
Oh, Mike, I don't know.
And I'm not going to find out.
But if you have, insight, feel free to call us, 877-787-8822.
Okay? Now, I'm going to get back to this
Okay.
later on in the last half hour of the show. There is a tie-in, believe it or not.
Boy, there's some front selling.
But yeah, there are tons of websites with proof, both for and against, whether
they're pro and anti-Snosberry.
when Roald Dahl wrote the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which was, if the book was a very, very dark theme book.
It was
compared to Willy Wonka.
It was more akin to what the boat ride was like.
Yes. The boat ride kind of scratched the surface of the tone of the book. I can't believe. Really? Now, every time, once you hear it, even whether you believe it or not, now anybody who listens to this, the next time you watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and they talk about the snozberries tasting like snozberries, you're going to be thinking about it. You're going to be like, well, snozberry is supposed to taste like a penis. Why didn't they just say penis? Kind of like on Battlestar Galactica, where instead of saying the F-bomb, they said frack.
That's right.
It's code.
It's to get through the censors. There wasn't really chocolate in his river, in his waterfall.
Snozberry juice. What the hell is that?
Now, here's the thing.
A snozberry milkshake. Wait a minute.
Talk about a protein shake. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Colin.
There are two problems with this. Okay?
All right.
Yeah, talk me down from this ledge. Come on.
So, first off, the snozberry was first in a much earlier book, where it's described as a round white fruit eaten by gremlins. So it was used in multiple books by Roald Dahl, and it was referred to as, this is the exact line from the My Uncle Wazzle, which was a much older book. It said, I grabbed hold of his snozberry and hung onto it like grim death and gave it a twist or two to make him hold still. So, here's the thing. Now, to me, that sounds like something that sounds like something one of Bill Cosby's accusers would have done. Here's the problem. From looking at this description, it is clear to me that everybody is wrong. Okay? Snozberry is obviously not a dick.
It's the balls.
It's the balls.
Yes.
And it's referring to grabbing them by their shape as being like a snozberry is a round berry.
Well, in England, it's referred to as twig and berries.
He's grabbing them by the berries.
Okay, fine. So
nutsack.
Is there a better?
So you could have a big old bag of snozberries.
Is there an upshot to this? Because
yes, the snozberry is a berry. It's a small white berry. He's referring to them just like you would say, grab them by the berries.
Yeah. So
snozberry flavor is still berry flavored, not dick flavored.
Which means that it tastes more of sweat.
Yes, that's right. Traumatized. Yes, you should be. And if nothing else, we need somebody to go to Hooters and try these wings and tell me what the hell they taste like.
So,
'cause it ain't gonna be me.
All right.
Joke Spot's writing in on YouTube saying, let's take one for the team. Hell, no. I'd just as soon eat one of them ghost pepper wings that you got to sign a waiver for.
Evidently, you can order those as chips.
or an Impossible Burger.
Which reminds me, I have more stuff for us to taste test. I always forget to bring it down here, though. We have dehydrated broccoli to try.
Oh,
That's good.
God.
What?
Why do you really?
Yeah.
Why? Who would even think to dehydrate? No, that's
Trader Joe's.
oh God.
You can get a Trader
Doesn't
Joe's.
chew on alfalfa sprouts and grass. No.
And you know, I got something else while I was there, too, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh,
but it was from Trader Joe's,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I was actually, maybe for next show, I'm going to get one of those Impossible sliders from White Castle. Have you heard about these things?
No. Oh,
Okay,
is that
so
the tofu one?
It's not tofu. It's Impossible Foods. They make a plant-based meat substitute that actually has the texture and even bleeds like red meat.
Oh, so it's made with beets.
No. I don't believe there are any beets in there.
Well, what else would bleed other than a beet?
They have discovered. I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But it looks like an actual burger, and supposedly it tastes just like it too. Like if you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
Oh, I see the line here. I suspect the more trimmings and condiments on your Impossible slider, the more it will mask the differences between it and normal burger. So you mean the more stuff I put on that would be on a normal burger, the less I actually taste whatever the burger substrate is that you're saying you're trying to fool me with. That's like saying if you put enough ketchup on something, it'll just taste like ketchup.
Maybe.
So, you know, what's the point? By the way, this is twice as expensive.
Well, I said I would try one, and then wash it down with a couple of jalapeno cheeseburgers.
Now, I have found that there is another thing out there that is snozberry flavored. It's a vape flavor.
Vape flavored.
Yeah,
Mike.
okay.
Yeah, pull the flavor of snozberries deep in you. You want snozberries deep inside your mouth, don't you?
No, I don't want anything to do with
just lingering
snozberries.
there, right?
Nothing to do with snozberries at all. Nothing.
I mean,
Nothing with snozberries.
you want
And
to just encompassing your whole. You want to puff up
Nope.
your cheeks with the snozberries. They're so good.
nope.
You just want to go all
Nope.
chipmunk.
I'm beyond. I'm with Katie. I'm traumatized by this too. I don't want to know nothing about nothing, man.
I mean, just savor the snozberry.
Look what happened. Look what happened to Freddie Highmore. Okay, he was Charlie in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? And
Then he turned
Hey,
into
I
Johnny
did-
Depp.
he had to taste snozberries in that movie, and next thing you know, he's playing a murderer on Bates Motel, and now he's playing an autistic doctor on The Good Doctor. All right, that's a side effect of snozberries.
So what you're saying is it's not vaccines, it's snozberries that's causing autism.
No, I was going to say, so you're saying that snozberries give you a successful acting career.
After you become yeah, okay, all right,
So,
maybe. I need more proof, but it's a theorem.
I mean,
It's a theorem.
If there's anything
No,
we
because
know-
what happened to where are the rest of the actors and actresses? What happened to the rest of the little kids from Charlie and Chocolate Factory?
One of them
They're
was
gone.
on Jeopardy.
It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the one with Gene Wilder.
No, Willy Wonka is the one with Gene Wilder. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the one with Johnny Depp.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, you go
You
ahead
gotta
and look
get
that
these
up.
right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Trust me. I know, because I hate
okay.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
do we have any beans left? I don't need bean if we have any beans.
I don't know that we have any beans left, to tell you the truth. I think they might have gotten thrown out because they were harder than the concrete underneath this floor.
Yeah, we have to come up with
Yeah, I need more. Get more beans.
Okay. So, +1 bean count for Colin, future bean.
Yes.
Please, I'm up to like an entire box of like Bean Boozled at this point.
And for those of you that are new to the show, a bean penalty. We got a tin of bacon flavored jelly beans, and so anytime one of us repeated one of the other ones, brought up a topic we'd already talked about, or so like Mike's showing on the camera right now, or said something stupid, it resulted in...
You can tell who the bad person is. Mine was empty.
It resulted in having to eat a bean.
It replaced the previous bell system.
Yes, yes.
We are... We are... Oh, yes, and we're going to stop with the euphemisms, Mama Blair, because... I think we need to move on to the next topic. Let's talk about peanut butter.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I got to do one thing, though. I got to do this if we're going to do this.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Where you at? There you go.
All right. So, sorry, all of a sudden I just thought, wait a second, we need a sounder for this. So, the true inspiration for tonight's episode. So, let me set the scene for you, okay?
Set the scene.
Set the scene. Mother takes her young child shopping at a local Target. All right. Now, I don't, the 4-year-old, it's a 4-year-old daughter. Okay. Now, you guys don't have toddlers, okay, or youngins. Colin, you've had nephews, so you're close. You've had friends with kids, Mike. So I would assume you're somewhat familiar with how rowdy children can be in a store.
Oh yeah,
they don't know why they're there. They don't want to be there. The only place they want to be is the cereal aisle, maybe. All right, and that's only if you're getting them what they asked for. All right, so often is the time I can remember where my parents, when we were someplace we didn't want to be, would bring a snack, okay, for us to shut us up. Because when you're busy eating, you can't be screaming. Or at least it's a lot harder, okay? So a woman took her 4-year-old daughter to Target and said, okay, here, you know what? While I shop, why don't you eat this peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Okay, the 4-year-old, it's good food for a 4-year-old. Now, if she said, hey, why don't you smoke this meth pipe, and drink this 40, I would be against the mother. But she said, here's a PB&J. Okay, good deal so far, right? Well, until busybody comes up the other side of the aisle and starts yelling at this woman, at this mother, because how dare she feed her child in a Target shopping cart? Let alone, how dare she do it with peanut butter? Does she not know how many children could die just being exposed to it? Saying, I hope no child dies because of any residual peanuts on that cart.
A cart that has been filled with many a jar of peanut butter in its life.
Well,
those
are sealed
I thought about
jars.
that too. Those are sealed, right? So let's just.
But I have been in Walmart where somebody bought a package of cheese crackers with peanut butter in them, handed them to the child and said, here, eat this until we check out. All right. It wouldn't be a thing on Reddit of seeing half-eaten containers of chicken on the shelf if people didn't eat while they shopped. All right. So this woman, the mother, then went to Facebook, as you do, to get a little bit of reassurance for herself that she didn't do anything wrong. Because this lady at the store basically just yelled at her. Okay? Well, she did not get what she expected. She got hate. Absolute hate online. of how dare could you do this? Why do you not have any consideration for anyone else's children? You're a horrible mother. You know, why don't you think of anyone else other than yourself? You know, everything that you could think of was thrown at this woman.
The only way that she could have gotten a worse reaction is if she posted a picture that she cut the peanut butter and jelly sandwich into the shape of an AR-15 and the toddler was wearing a Trump shirt.
That's right.
That's the only way that that people would have been triggered more.
Yeah. You know, and so, yeah, and obviously we want to hear your opinion on this. So 877-787-8822. Let us know what you think. But I mean, this woman is like, listen, I pay attention to everything. There was no rule against this. You know, typically I don't see anything wrong with this. We're in public. It's not like I'm going to someone's house where I know their child has a peanut allergy. I just feel like, like this isn't a big deal. Like I should be vilified for this. And Greg Heck writing in that a peanut allergy is one more weak link in the chain and should just be a sign of the culling for some people. Yeah.
So here's the thing. They now know why so many kids were allergic to peanuts.
Yeah, and by the way, by you saying so
that
many,
part we talked about.
By so many, let me explain here that according to the Food Allergy Research and Education Institute, 5.9 million children under the age of 18, or 1 in 13 have a food allergy. And that means that the number of children at risk for life-threatening allergies is up 104%.
Listen,
and peanut allergies account for 22% of that.
We talked about the cause of this food allergy. It's because people stopped feeding their kids and stopped consuming these products when they were pregnant. And I made it very, very clear that it should be mandatory that unless you have a religious reason for not eating any pork products, when you're pregnant, eat bacon. Because, damn it, I am not going to live in a world where people develop a bacon allergy. Well, I know people that have them. I know people that have bacon allergy. They can't eat pork. They're allergic to any kind of pork product. Allergic to. It's already starting.
Well, here's the answer, Mike. I have, I think, a complete answer for you.
Australia.
Okay. It's a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup ice cream and bacon sandwich on white bread. Okay? That way we get rid of this gluten thing. We get rid of the peanut thing. We get rid of the dairy
don't even
thing.
get me started on gluten. Gluten.
we get rid of all those. All you have to do is eat one sandwich once a week. Your doctor should prescribe it for you. All right? Congratulations, you're pregnant. Here's your sandwich.
Gluten. I don't even know what the hell gluten is. All I know is that gluten is flavor. I know that.
It makes great noodles and pizza crusts and you name it. It's wonderful.
Look.
And bread.
Here's the thing, okay? These people are getting all pissed off because this mother was in a Target with a peanut butter sandwich, and kids might have a food allergy. Okay, so are you going to go crazy and be all angry that restaurants like Texas Roadhouse and Five Guys have peanuts in open boxes in the shelf? Sign on the door that peanuts are in use. Sign on the door they're cooking in oil. Are you going in there protesting because you can't bring your child to enjoy their food? Because their food is delicious. It's got gluten.
That's right.
It's got bacon. It's got peanuts. It's delicious.
My sister works in a bakery. People come in and say, "Do you have anything that's gluten free?" And my sister's like,
"Here's the cardboard tray we put the cakes on."
No, my sister's like, "You are getting gluten in your system just by standing here breathing our flour-laden air."
So, I mean, but yes, I mean, getting back to this, you know, you cannot expect
And
you cannot expect people, all right? You can't expect brioche ice cream sandwich maker.
yes, you forgot the dairy in all of this.
I said
Because
ice
the-
cream. I said
The
ice
dairy.
cream. So, I mean, okay. I understand, though, from the a little bit from the other perspective. You can't put your children in a bubble, all right, either. So if your kid does have some type of allergy because you didn't eat your brioche Reese's peanut butter cup bacon sandwich, all right, we're pregnant, then
No, we're not going to blame people for their kids having peanut allergies. We're just going to say
I'm not blaming the kids, I'm blaming the parents. There's different. I'm allowed to do that.
Everybody did have peanut. Some people did have peanut allergies before. But
All right, well, can I blame them on not taking their EpiPen with them?
yes,
All right, if you know you or your child
No,
has
no,
a problem.
No, you can't do that. You can't blame the EpiPen because that brings it back to Trump that the EpiPen, the insurance doesn't cover the damn EpiPen anymore, and it's $700,000 for an EpiPen.
blame them for this.
It's not.
What do we now have at the entrance of every supermarket?
Purell
Metal detectors.
and wipes.
Yes, there's a dispenser of wipes so you can wipe down the cart to
Yes.
make sure that no previous person has left any specks.
Let's see here. Are there
of peanut.
allergies to antimicrobial wipes?
And then
Somewhere
other
there's
people
got to be.
have those blanket things that
Yeah.
you can put on the cart to cover it up. Listen, if your kid is really that allergic to stuff, then don't expect the cart that has had so many people eating Reese's peanut butter
Good
cups.
Lord. The meth addict that had that cart before then has put a lot worse stuff on the handles than peanut butter.
You're all worried about a little bit of residual peanut butter that may not even that it's not even your kid. You're worried about that it might affect some other kid. Meanwhile, these people are taking the public transportation to get to the Target.
Yeah.
And God only knows what the hell kind of disease-laden germs that Hep C and stuff in the bus on the handrail. Well, kids licking the floor in the subway cars.
Now,
Oh, I know. 'Cause, I'll tell you what. We've taken the grandkids, and the first thing they do when you put them in the seat in the front
No.
is they lash their mouth onto the damn handlebar.
now, let's go back and talk about the person who felt that they had to say something in the
Oh,
first
you
place.
mean the social justice warrior that just
I'm
felt
not going to go to the social justice warrior.
I didn't say social media.
If you're standing there in a grocery store
Yeah.
and you see somebody with an industrial-sized thing of peanut butter
Smearing it down the
smearing
aisle.
peanut butter all around the cart, on the aisle, going down to the peanut-free aisle and dipping everything into the thing of peanut butter.
If you see somebody taking a spoon and going boink, 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 and just launching it at people.
Walking up to random kids in carts and stuffing their peanut-covered hand into their mouths.
If they just, if they butter their hand, peanut butter their hand, and then go around giving high fives to everybody, all right?
Feel free
know
to
what?
yell at that person.
Yeah.
The next show, I am going to have a shirt. Caution! May contain nuts.
I know, because
Or maybe may contain nuts or snozberries.
may contain snozberries.
That's gonna be up. We're gonna put that up on the YouTube store. No, caution. May contain nuts, snozberries, gluten,
Dairy.
dairy,
No, lactose. Lactose. It's not the dairy, it's
lactose,
lactose.
and then on the back, PTRradio.com.
That's right.
We're selling these shirts. I'm telling you right now.
That's right. Screw
Carlos and Isabel, we need a graphic to go with this.
we have strong feet. Now it's may contain nuts, schnozberries, lactose, gluten, and gluten.
Anything else? Anything else we can think of?
I don't know.
I think we leave the snozberries off.
I like the snozberries. We'll say and snozberries at the end, okay? We'll say lactose, nuts, gluten, and snozberries. Or snozberries.
Oh, Don't even. Don't. No. I'm not. I'm not. No. I'm not going to have this argument. I'm not going to have this argument with you. Do not get all technical with me. Damn it.
Peanuts are a legume, but they're
All right,
also
listen.
called pea nuts.
Okay, listen. Look, we need, because I know Colin has to leave as soon as we're done,
Yeah.
we should jump into the movie reviews now.
All right.
Okay.
Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Sure, I don't have that much to say about these movies, but I think Shaggy does.
Okay, so every show, which is traditionally every 2 weeks, we pick 2 movies from Netflix, Amazon Prime, wherever we can find them for free or in what we think most people would have a subscription for. We decide to watch 2 of them. We then write up our reviews a la Siskel and Ebert style traditionally. We give them a rating anywhere between puke, which is horrible, and shnikes, which means it's great, and we highly recommend it. We tell you what we think. And then we want to actually hear from you. If you decide to watch one of these movies, do you agree with our do you agree with our reviews? Do you not agree with our reviews? You know, what do you guys think about how the movie was in comparison to us? Are we on the right path? Do we have the pulse of the nation, basically, is what this comes down to. So the 2 movies for this evening were a brand new movie from Netflix called Game Over Man and The Last Lovecraft, The Relic of Cthulhu from Amazon. So, Mike, I'm going to recommend that we go with the Cthulhu movie first.
Okay.
And I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Oh, Lord. All right. I put this movie on, and I'm saying, I don't even,
Are you sure?
I don't know.
I thought I did.
But no, I mean, I pressed play.
Oh, okay.
As in put it on. Yeah, you put, you.
It's your fault, Colin.
Yo. I don't know how this movie's going to go over, because right off the bat, I can't even pronounce the damn title of the movie. I had to look it up. Cthulhu. Okay, now I got it. Can I buy a vowel?
Just
I'm trying to figure out the opening sequence of this movie. And folks, let's just clarify. Big time spoiler alert for these movies. Just letting you know, okay? We're probably doing you a favor by giving away plot points, all right?
Yeah. There are some spoilers given away.
So the opening scene, these 2 dudes on a boat that have no idea what they're doing about a boat, with a boat. What exactly was the purpose of that scene? Because you don't see nothing, you just see people die, and that's it. You don't know how these guys relate to the story, other than the fact that monsters are here. Okay. The boss at this place where they work, the two Kool-Aid lovers, whatever they are, he actually did really well for himself after coming up with the jump to conclusions, Matt. Something about 2 nerds fighting with foam noodles truly makes me sad. I mean, I was like crying on the inside about this. I really was. Now, as bad as this movie is starting to seem, it already has something going for it that every other Cloverfield Cthulhu movie we've ever watched, you don't have to wait until the very end, right before the credits, to see the actual monster. So it's got that going for it. These 2 guys leave work. They're trying to figure everything out. Whether I'm going on a quest or whatever, if I'm at some kind of event where I'm wearing a tie, the minute I leave, what's the first thing I do? I take the tie off. These jackasses have the ties on the entire time, and that never bodes well for anybody in a horror movie wearing a tie or any kind of movie like this. Tie means you're going to die. That given. Black guy wearing a tie, you might as well just dig a hole, because you're going to be a casualty. Then I'm sitting there trying to figure out if the guy in the blow-up pool was actually one of the guys from the boat. I had to go look it up, and no, he wasn't. So that still proves that the boat scene had no purpose whatsoever. Yeah, no, I figured it out. The guys that wrote and directed this movie wanted to party on a boat, so they had to throw a boat scene in just so they could rent a boat and be like, hey, boats and hoes, I'm on a boat. Didn't have to pay for it. And then suddenly I blink and it ends. Like they conquered the guy and wrote a comic book, and now they're heroes. Well, they become Knights of the Council or some bullshit thing. Was this supposed to be the start of a series? No? Thank God. So I gave this a meh. A generous gift. The movie itself was actually pretty bad, but I gave it a meh because it was better. It was a better Lovecraft-based movie than half of the Cloverfield movies, and because we got to see the demons so early, even if they were cheesy. And a bonus point or two because one of the actors' actual name is Barack.
Oh, all right. You care if I go next?
Go ahead.
It's not going to take long. The Last Lovecraft, The Relic of Cthulhu. Horrible dialogue, bad CGI, worse acting, and a plot that made even being sick seem better than watching this gutter trash. That's what The Last Lovecraft, The Relic of Cthulhu brings to mind. This may be one of my shortest reviews ever. The movie sucked. Don't watch it. I rank it puke.
Wow. Wow.
I was sick and watching this, and I thought I'd rather be watching nothing. My stomach hurts, and I'd rather be watching nothing.
Wow.
Okay. So I had the IMDb up, and it has a very good quote from the movie. So I decided I want to read this quote so people can get a sense of one of the scenes. Because one of the scenes in the movie has a nerd character who lives with his grandmother. Mm-hmm. Likes to yell at his grandmother. Mm-hmm. And it kind of goes in with our previous subject. So, the character's name is Paul. So, Paul. Oh, would you look at this? Looks like there's no peanut butter. Boy, sure would be great if I could make a sandwich if my own grandmother wasn't such a peanut butter whore.
I do remember that line.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing about it. One of my favorite things to watch on Sci-Fi is Face Off. At their reality show where people make creature costumes. And watching this movie was a lot like watching one of the movies they make in Face Off to feature the mask they just made. Now, this is actually one of the absolute cheapest movies that we have watched. This thing was made for $50,000.
Second cheapest.
Okay. Yeah, because there's that one. But anyway, this is one of the cheapest movies we've seen. I've got to say, I like this one a lot.
Oh, what?
I thought it was...
Gotta be kidding me.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Because it was so cheap, but I loved the art design. Okay. Because how do you get your movie that's really cheap to have good graphics at the beginning? Have a director who does his own art. I don't mean the stupid scene on the boat. I mean the credit sequences where he did his own animation. I liked that.
$50,000 and $10,000 was to rent a yacht for a day.
Probably
on a lake. They weren't in the ocean.
There's so much of this movie. No, this is not in any sense a good movie.
Okay.
And this is not getting a Schneikes.
Okay, good.
It is not, but it is definitely not getting a puke, and it's not getting a meh. It's getting a smile from me.
My goodness, we couldn't have been more all over the board on that, and I don't know that that's ever happened.
And just, I liked the homages to Indiana Jones at the beginning with the guy who. Anyway, I enjoyed myself watching this movie. I knew it was not a good movie. The script was terrible. The acting was okay. But I had a much stronger sense of the people were actually having fun making it than I have had in so many other pieces of crap that we've watched.
Okay. All right. And Shaggy,
and that's quite possibly very true as well.
So Shaggy, to answer your question, the last time that I think we were this far across the board or close to it was Butter.
Oh, okay.
You gave Butter a Schnikes.
Yes.
I gave it a smile, and Colin gave it a puke.
Still do.
So we were pretty darn close to there.
Although, with our other movie, I may have to recalibrate.
All right, so you guys care if I go first on the next one?
Go for it.
All right, so Game Over Man.
I'm sorry, Robot Overlords. We had the exact same. Or almost. We had Schnikes, Smile, and Meh.
Okay.
But okay, go ahead.
All right, Game Over Man is a classic, over-the-top, gross-out, sexual, drug-filled comedy. However, with a unique twist, this rendition works in a hapless action-adventure plot to motivate the characters through their misadventures. Now, I wasn't totally familiar with the main characters from this film, but from a little research, it appears they've all come from the situational comedy Workaholics. And as other reviewers have pointed out online, if you enjoyed that show, then you'll probably enjoy this movie. So let me instead concentrate on the people I was surprised to see in this film. Near the beginning, the principal baddie is played by Neil McDonough. Or those of you who are familiar with Legends of Tomorrow or The Flash, that's the guy who plays Damien Dark. His sidekick for most of the movie is Rona Mitra, who I don't know where she's from, but she looks like a more ethnic Sandra Bullock. So please bring on more with her. Also included to round out this oddball cast is Aya Cash, a smoking hot redhead, and Daniel Stern, which if you don't remember his name, he's the tall burglar from the Home Alone series. So, is this movie any good? Well, a lot of that depends on how high you are, how drunk you are, and your maturity level. Now, I'm not saying there aren't days when I'd belly laugh from this movie, but on the night I watched this, I really was looking for something more highbrow. This really is bottom-of-the-barrel comedy at its finest. The only thing I kept thinking the entire time was there is no way in hell these guys are this lucky to keep escaping death in all these ways. I mean, really, Harold and Kumar didn't have this kind of luck in getting to White Castle. I guess that's really where this lies. It's not as good as Harold and Kumar, because to me there weren't enough straight time to set up the jokes, but it's along that spectrum for the type of movie it is. So my advice is get yourself some Neil Patrick Harris in casting next time, boys, and you'll end up with a much higher quality film. In my mind, this gets a meh and probably won't be in any type of rotation here at Casa de Shaggy.
Why don't we take this next, Mike?
Sure, go right ahead, and then I have one of your family's contributions.
So do I.
Okay.
I have McKenna's review of this movie.
Oh, okay. That was, yes, same thing. So I wasn't going to put that up because it would get cut off.
So this is her original review that she texted me. I didn't read what else she put out. Her text to me earlier today was, F this movie. I want to find whoever is responsible for this movie and make them swim in a fish tank with explosives around their neck. I mean, I've watched a lot of zombie movies, and I usually have no problem with gore, but this movie made me nauseous. I hate this movie. I agree. I want to find the people responsible for making this movie and make them wear the explosive collar. And the swim in the fish, that's good, McKenna. I like that one, too. No. The only reason I managed to get through this movie is I was watching it with other people. I probably would have just given up if it had just been me. And I feel sorry that I made other people watch it with me because this is the worst. I'm sorry. This made FDR American Badass look like Amadeus.
I was asked about that movie recently because it's on my Plex.
I'm not going that far, but go ahead.
No, this is ironclad puke. There's no question. I am never watching this again. I think the only reason this movie was made is the same reason why weird old men walk around in coats to flash people. They just got people to watch. They just decided to flash people on Netflix.
All right, Mike, you're up.
Hold on, I'm just putting a note in the rating sheet. There's a ironclad puke, to be precise.
Full body puke, diarrhea at the other end, all the organs flying out of my mouth.
All right, so I'm going to read what Kenna wrote over here.
Okay.
Before I give mine. To say I didn't have high hopes for this movie is an understatement. This is 2018. We just survived 2017, a year of Weinstein, the Las Vegas shooting, and the untimely deaths of Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell. I thought we had progressed just a little bit. Misogyny, domestic terrorism, and suicide are not jokes. I knew it would only go downhill after the phrase, boys will be boys, as the manager grabs her by the snozberries and asked where her balls were. There was no humor there, just insensitivity. The only sane person in the quote-unquote movie is Blake Anderson, whose character is uncomfortable, confused, and ashamed the entire time. I assume he's the one who came out as gay.
I don't know. I don't know either. I think so.
I never laughed once. Instead, I cursed, felt nauseated, and cried. Hold your loved ones close and your puppies closer. 0 of 10 Fs.
You know what? When I saw Blake Anderson, I thought, that's the guy from American Ultra. But it wasn't.
So, for the record, I never watched the show Workaholics. Because these three guys annoy the hell out of me. This movie is going to be torturous. I know. I know it. The guy picks up a used condom. Doesn't snort it. Although, if that fad had taken place before this movie was filmed, he probably would have. Picks it up with the handle of the brush he's going to use to clean the toilets. Just think about that for 1 second. Better picking it up with the poop end. Picking up with the end he's going to use to clean the poop with. Another bad omen? We got the dude from the movie with the puke tub. We get Damien Dark. And you wanted more of Rona Mitra. She was the replacement Celine in the third Underworld movie before they brought what's her name back for one more. And we've got the husband from Reba. Now. FD's mother effers. Okay.
For those that don't know, Mike just blew vape out of one nostril.
Just like the dude in the... And we get Steve-O. And we get the guy from Scrubs and Clueless. And cut his junk. She cut his junk right off. It's laying there on the floor. Why is there so much frontal nudity in this movie? This is very, very... No. Why is he not putting pants on before he's going through the dead bad guy's stuff? No. Why? Don't mess with the dog. Don't ever mess with the... Okay, dog is safe.
Oh.
I want to know where they got those zip ties. These are zip ties that they were able to rappel down a building and hold in midair 3 guys, a chain of zip ties on an ironing board, and the zip ties don't break. I need these zip ties.
And the ironing board.
I could care less about the ironing board. Hey, man, don't iron.
But he does zip.
I could use them to zip tie neighbors' cars together. Or zip tie shopping carts to the handles of cars that when people park over the line. They'd never be able to get the cart. They'd be driving down the highway with a shopping cart attached because they couldn't get the cart. They couldn't cut the zip tie.
Tony Banderas did those zip ties.
Yes, he did.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm going to post this one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. When Steve-O is the least offensive part of a movie, that's a bad thing.
When you feel bad because they shot Steve-O. You know?
I mean, the movie's got more cameos than the Zoolander movie. You just needed Billy Zane to show up.
They got Shaggy.
Then they killed the dog. Killed the dog. Movie sucks. 7,000 bullets they're shooting at the Porno Suit Master 5000 Reflex Edition. Not a single one hits a wire or a battery that would shut the suit down. Dude. I can't even say this with a straight face. The dude threw his own dick at the woman. Who thinks of this stuff?
Why aren't they locked up?
He threw a severed penis, snozberry, at the chick. Why?
That's not how they work.
That's not how any of this works. I gave it a vert. I seriously wanted to give this a puke. But the cameos actually made this a little better than this. All I'm going to say, the way this ended, it appeared to be the start of a series. And I'm on the record right now, which I don't think anybody's going to fight me, that I am going to veto and quit if this comes up as if a sequel to this comes up as a suggestion.
If they make Game Over Board, we are not watching it.
I swear to God, I will veto, I will quit, I will hijack the domain, I will ruin your lives. That's how much I really should. No, you know what? I'm gonna reality show. What?
I would like to. She thought from the name that was going to be a reality show. I guess.
Yeah. So none of us like that one. Now, since we're recording late this time around, all right, we're going to turn around and next Monday, a week from today, we're going to do another show. That means we've only got 7 days to watch our next two movies, which means we already picked what the next two movies were going to be, so that we could get a head start.
And I potentially have a veto.
Uh-oh. All right, so the two movies that were originally picked was The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard, and Martian Child. The Martian Child is a drama. Dramatic comedy, and The Goods is a comedy. So which one are you potentially vetoing?
I am potentially vetoing Martian Child.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I started watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got about 45 minutes in. And I have no idea how I'm going to review this movie. I know you said you wanted to see a good John Cusack movie, and this movie does star John Cusack. And I'm okay with sticking with it. But I'm just telling you right now, I think this is like a legit kind of movie. I think this is along the lines of Hello, My Name is Doris.
Ah, yes.
Okay, well, I mean, if you want to pick a replacement, that's fine. We can replace this with something else.
I would replace it with Rampage.
Well, Mike's not going to go out and see Rampage, I don't think.
I was actually going to see if you guys, how you felt about replacing it with The Titan.
The Titan.
Which was another Netflix original that was just released.
Okay.
Sci-fi.
It is more Prometheus than Prometheus. I mean, sure, that's
Is there a
fine.
trailer we can watch?
Let's see here. Yes, there is.
Watch the trailer.
All right, hold on. Let me do this.
I mean, we have 15 minutes to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Let me do this. And let us get a copyright violation.
Continues, the federal government has declared Los Angeles uninhabitable.
The base is 4 square miles.
All under NATO command? To be sure, Lieutenant, we're highly classified.
You are going to be the first man on Titan.
It's just an honor to have been selected, sir. Not gonna let you down.
Our resources have been depleted. In 10 years, half the world's population will have starved to death. Half the planet will be uninhabitable. But there is one place that gives us hope. The largest moon of Saturn. What if Titan could become our home? You will become enhanced humans. Most of you will fail. Some people will break during the training.
You're talking forced evolution.
I'm talking survival of the species.
I've studied your work. I know what we're doing here. It's bigger than all of us.
This is the last time some of us will get to drink for a while.
I never thought I'd see something like this.
He's changing.
This isn't space research. It's criminal. They're becoming violent.
I want to finish it. I can see everything.
There is something alive inside of him.
He's a soldier. There's no going back.
I wouldn't have thought I would have got this far.
How can you possibly know what he's becoming?
If we can't control him, all of us are dead.
Huh. It's a bit interesting.
It started interesting, and then
it got weird.
it got annoying.
Why'd they have to go and turn it into a horror film?
Yeah.
Looked like a really great sci-fi film.
Okay, so then pick 1 to 33.
17.
Tracers, a crime action adventure on Netflix. Oh, well, hey, Mama Blair said she was in on the Titan. I'm just saying.
Let's see here. When a bike messenger falls into debt with organized criminals, a sexy woman draws him into a high-stakes world of parkour, teaching him new skills.
Oh, Lord.
Starring Taylor from...
Taylor Lautner.
From
Oh,
Twilight.
God!
Hey, wait a second. Adam Rayner's in this one.
Who?
From The Saint.
Oh, yeah, I should have known that.
I don't know. Well, we just did it a couple weeks ago.
I know.
You remember people's names?
No, I actually thought it was. I thought it was Rainier, somebody different, completely different. But you know.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Wow.
No,
It's that
I'm
guy
not
for that movie.
I am not that good. What are you kidding me? You know what? I can do the Titan thing if you want to do the Titan thing.
Yeah, let's do the Titan.
All right, let's do the Titan. We'll make Mama Blair happy this week.
Although now, so I
I think she's saying no to
something
the guy
else.
from.
Yeah. So we'll do we'll do that. I mean,
okay.
We'll do yours.
Yeah, we'll do the Titan.
The Titan. So let me get that in here so that we can.
At least the cast is good. I mean, Tom Wilkinson. I mean, he's been in all kinds of stuff. Mostly good stuff.
Yeah. So Who knows? Maybe one of these days we might actually have to watch
BMX Bandits.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's on the list.
Yes. I figured I haven't watched it in years, and I figured you guys have probably never seen it.
Kidding me?
What? You have seen it?
Many times.
Okay. Well,
it shouldn't be on the list then.
It's
If you guys have seen it multiple times.
still not a great movie.
Oh no, that's why that is why it's on the list, because it is not a good movie.
Yeah.
In the least.
So, all right. So those are the two that we're going to do for next show. Let's see if we can pick something quick here to close out with. Maybe
I need to find a couple movies that I've watched that you guys have not seen.
Yeah. So, Colin, you did bring up Rampage a little bit.
Yep.
So Rampage is out. We talked about this, I think, maybe on the last show, that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, obviously, he is. What's funny is he did an interview where somebody said, "Are you worried about the video game curse?" Okay, obviously not very familiar with his work, because he was in the 2005 movie Doom.
Yes.
So if he was terribly, and that at least made it to money back.
Yes.
Especially it was huge overseas, not so much here.
Now, and here's the thing, like, people asked what movie, if you had to tell somebody to see one of The Rock's movies because they'd never seen a movie with The Rock, what would you?
Oh, there's so many to choose from right now too.
So
I'll tell you what, my wife is addicted to Central Intelligence and Baywatch right now.
Well, Central Intelligence was funny. I said, be cool.
You know what? I might say The Rundown.
Be Cool, where he plays a homosexual bodyguard to who's the guy that's the same actor in every damn movie? Vince Vaughn. Or,
and I haven't seen Jumanji yet, so I don't know if that's a good one or not.
That's a
Jumanji.
good one.
Jumanji was good.
It was good. It was good. I had no idea. I'm like, how are you going to put The Rock in Jumanji? And then it worked, man.
Yes, it did. It did work.
It worked. And that kind of showed his range a little bit right there, because that was a little bit out of it.
We are getting...
Okay, a topic to prepare for the next show. Since we didn't have call-ins to the show, which is fine. Not everything's going to flip your flopper. So, the next show, we have already... boy, we don't have topics for the next show because we couldn't tell the future when we were doing this show. Oh boy! I'll tell you what. I will think about it more tonight, and I will make sure that we post it up on our Facebook feed and put it out through Instagram and Twitter. I'm not going to try and come up with one right now, but we will make sure that it's out there, and I'll even text message Colin and make sure that he gets it out to his fam, and that way we can have everybody's input on the topic. So, in fact, maybe that's something we'll start doing is as we have our lists of topics that we cover, we may start putting those out on Facebook, because that way we can drive that traffic up a little bit, and you guys can be more familiar with stuff we're going to talk about as well.
We could schedule that for like the second half of the first hour is a call in during that time, and we're okay if being interrupted.
Yeah,
I think sometimes people are like, we're on a roll, and they don't want to interrupt us.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you're welcome to call anytime. You're even welcome to call when we're not on the air. We don't care about that. Our voicemail will pick it up, and then we can play it later on. Right now we've got some wonderful hold music from a couple of conference calls that tried to call our number, and a couple of fax machines. I mean, those are less great to listen to, but we enjoy listener calls too. So, but we do have some stuff to give away. We want to make sure that we give that away to folks who are interested in the show and who are also interested in the product. Again, the product that we're hawking right now is ski. Particularly, we're doing diet ski. And I will tell you that coming up, probably not for the next show, but we may get something available, is where I'm going to actually be doing a giveaway where if you do what we're asking for, you could win a delivery of ski. all right, where we will actually ship you some ski. So, I don't know who that is. Oh, that's your comedian friend.
Yes.
All right, so because Mike and I talked about that, we were going to go through a couple of different iterations, but I think that if you guys are willing to do stuff, then we can be willing to send some free stuff out. And I would love to see. I know we've got some Canadian listeners. Not that mailing stuff to Canada is cheap by any means, but if I somehow could get this soda in the hands of a few, northern folk or folk where it's not available, and then get a few pictures posted up on Instagram, I think the folks at Ski would be very proud of that, and would help our podcast out quite a bit. So that's what we're going to be working up towards. So the next Smokey and the Bandit style run will probably be in about 2 to 3 weeks, where we'll be filling up the back of the truck again with some more soda, resupplying the studio, as it were. Mike, you've still got some that's going to be headed your way. So McKenna, we got people already saying, I'll do work for Ski. But so that's the things I think that we're working towards. Again, we're getting all kinds of different things out. We're going to start back up on Road Again segments. We're going to I'm continuing to work on the new website and get all that stuff going. So we're going to have a lot of new things that I think hopefully everybody's going to like. And so grow the show a little bit. I will tell you that I got some good news this week. When I was working on my phone, I use an app because I have an Android. If you have an Android, by the way, one of the best podcast apps that you can get is called Podcast Addict. All right. It's a free app. It's very easy to use. You can just, search for PTR Radio. It'll find us, so you can subscribe to you. Then you can download whatever episodes you want. I found that we have grown by another 25 listeners on that app, because it actually keeps statistics of how many people are subscribed on that app. So within the last 6 months or so, we've grown on that app quite significantly, and I was very happy about that. So thank you for getting the word out to everybody and letting them know what you listen to. We would just talk to ourselves, but it makes it so much easier when you guys are out there listening to the show.
I think what we should do for next show, and maybe from now on, is paste up a separate post on Facebook for each movie.
Yeah.
And then the listeners can go in and put their own reviews. And after we do our reviews, we'll read any of them that are any good.
I'm sure we can make that happen. So, all right. All right, folks, with that said, this has been PTR Radio. We want to thank you very much for listening. Interacting with the show has been great tonight. Like I said, as always, you can get in touch with the show. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just look for PTR Radio. That's where you're going to find us. Also, our website. It's there. It's only going to get better. PTRradio.com. Tell your friends about the show. We want to grow it. We want to get bigger. And, we need your help to do that. So, we will be back. It's weird. This time I'm not saying 2 weeks. We'll be back in 1 week. We will be back on the 23rd at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to tune in live, you can tune in then. Otherwise, just subscribe to the podcast, really, and then you can pick it up. Usually it's up by either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to get better about that one of these days, and it'll be up on a regular schedule. So, it will be up fairly quickly afterwards. So, want to thank everybody for listening tonight, chiming in, and helping out the conversation. I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I am Mike the Gluten Ape Man.
Take a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.
Snozberries!